What's going on, guys? In today's video, we will be comparing the brand new Zhiyun Crane 2S to, it's actually just easier if I show you. This stabilizer rig right there, that's my buddy Russ, and he's been shooting feature films for the last 20 years. And you're probably thinking to yourself, this is an absolutely ridiculous comparison. I agree, but it's fun. So let's just do it anyways. All right, so let's talk about some of the gear that you guys are gonna be seeing in this video. Up first, the new Zhiyun Crane 2S. Guys, I've been a fan of the Crane 2 for a super long time, so to have the new improved one, there's a lot of stuff I love about this thing. Number one, and most importantly, stronger motor so we can fly heavier cameras on it, so we can handle like Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K, 1DX Mark II, and today we are flying the A7R3 with a 24-70 f2.8 G master lens. This is a heavy setup, but it can handle it. No problem. A few other things that I love about it, it's finally got locking casters. So now when we're traveling from set to set, it's not just like dangling around all the time. You don't have to worry about that. Just go boop, lock it there, and everything's good. And that is my setup. Russ is up next with his stabilizer. I have no idea what he's actually using, so I'm gonna let him describe it to you. Russ, tell me a little bit about it.
Hey, I'm Rusty Young. I'm a Steadicam operator in Toronto, Canada. This is my Steadicam system here. It's an MKV Omega Revolution. On it, I've got the Epic W with Zeiss Ultra Primes. All together, when it's strapped to your body, you're running around with about 200,000 Canadian. Over the last few decades as a Steadicam operator, I've had the pleasure of working on a lot of great projects. I did some of Shawn Mendes' first music videos. I worked on Umbrella Academy, The Boys, Star Trek, and all kinds of great projects lately.
So essentially what we're gonna be doing today is gonna be doing like a shot-by-shot comparison and see how these tools perform in different scenarios. So the first thing that we're gonna be doing is a classic thing that when you get a gimbal, everyone wants to do, a tracking shot. So let's start with the tracking shot. I think autofocus is gonna be like a bit of like a trouble in this situation because these guys can, you know, pull focus around trees and things like that. Whereas like I feel like the autofocus is gonna be like, ooh, a tree, you wanna focus on that right now. All right, so for our next shot, we're gonna be doing a bit of like an obstacle course. What's it like when you're holding your stabilizer or your gimbal and you're going over things or under things, and see what those shots look like. All right, let me just show you what our obstacle is gonna be, what we're gonna be like going over top of. So we got a case here, which is full of lenses. We're about like an extra 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. And this is where we'll really see that difference in that shot and which one like performs better in this scenario. If we can even like pinpoint where the box is.
It's right there.
Barely. So what we've learned is he nailed it. That's cool. My turn. right, so for our next shot-by-shot comparison, we're gonna be doing an orbital around Mitch in his fancy hat, and we're gonna be doing a wide shot at 16 mil, we're gonna be doing a 50 mil shot, which is like a medium shot, and a long shot at 135 millimeters. I'm also gonna be flying my 100 to 400, which is like a massive lens on this gimbal. I'm excited to put it to the test. And also, I'm gonna steal Mitch's hat later. That's the big game plan for the video, truly.
Versus that lens, there's a substantial dollar figure difference there.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why you're seeing more warping in your lens than mine as well.
All right, so for our next test, we're gonna be doing a lens changing test. So essentially, how long is it gonna take us to go from a 16 mil to a 135 mil? We're gonna have Raph from Russ's team doing his Steadicam, and I'm gonna be the guy on my Crane 2S. Let's start.
All good.
I normally would never fly a 400 millimeter, but it's nice to know that I can. This looks ridiculous, and it's handling it like pretty well. All right, so for our next shot-by-shot comparison, we're gonna be doing vortex mode. You guys have probably seen these shots. It's when like the camera comes in and it starts rotating and doing this. I don't know why I had to show you. I felt like a cat there. You know when a cat's like, it does that thing where it looks at you and you're like, Luna! And look, anyways. What we're gonna be doing is the rotation shot. So because Russ's setup can actually spin within this cylindrical that he has built onto his Steadicam, I thought it'd be interesting to do a side-by-side comparison of vortex mode. All right, so we are basically done our test right now. Russ, what were kind of some of your thoughts from the day in our side-by-sides?
I was definitely very surprised. Like, I think they're still the right tool for the right job. There was moments where I think Steadicam was fantastic, and there's moments where I think the Crane 2 was, like, really did surprise me.
Yeah.
That initial test that we did, the very, like, kind of a little bit more complicated. I thought that Steadicam was kind of going to be the favor there.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with like where the Crane 2 stepped up to in that part.
Totally. I think that shot in particular I was really worried about, because one of the things that you have the benefit with like your team is that you have somebody specifically on focus.
Totally.
Right? And like working on exposure, and you can just focus on framing. Whereas like I have to rely on algorithms and you know, some of the auto settings and autofocus to get similar results. So I'm relying on something that I don't always know is going to be 100%.
Totally.
Whereas you can dial it in with your team, which is always like a big thing. So, you know, I think we lucked out with that shot and it worked out well in that scenario. So I was like super impressed. But like, obviously, yeah, we talk about this all the time, like the right tool for the right job. And like in a certain situation, this could perform and be the best option, or in another situation, this is the best option. One of the things I always like want to mention to like people who might be like beginners and watching this out there is this could be like a little bit of like your stepping stone into maybe getting into, you know, specializing in stabilization. And that means that you can like build, you know, a name in the industry and build a career off of 17 years and then turn that into a media production company with like 15 employees. And, you know, how many films have you done?
over 100 now.
Yeah.
It's getting up there. It's pretty wild.
So, you know, this could be a stepping stone or an introduction to that. So I think there's like always the right tool, or this could be, you know, the beginning of something a lot bigger. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our side-by-side. Russ, dude, thanks so much for coming out and letting us play with all your expensive toys for the day and bringing out your boys, the background boys over there. And on that note, we're going to throw to the studio. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it, dude. Okay, back at the studio. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Now I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna show you all the shots back to back so you can see them in real time, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. I think by the end of the day, all of us had this like universal opinion that we were genuinely surprised on how well the Crane 2S performed. I think June made like an amazing product. I've always been a big fan of the Crane 2, and now with all the new improvements, such as like the nicer look, we got like carbon fiber here, so it feels nicer in your hands, more robust. We got a bigger OLED screen, which means that if you want to like dial in your settings, you can just do it on the spot rather than having to use your phone. One of the things I really love that you can actually do with this gimbal is you can actually take this part of the arm off so that you can change it to a shorter arm here. So if you look at the difference here, we can kind of like remove this little arm piece right there so you can actually see the screen and frame your shots. But it will be easier now with some of the newer cameras like the Sony a7S III. We'll have the flip out screen so you won't have to move this motor. And from what I understand, even from Potato Jet's video and my experience with like Vortex mode, it can sometimes be easier if you have the full arm, but I could do everything I really want to with this setup right here with the arm taken off. I really like the addition of the flex mount, mainly because it gives you a couple more options for mounting, flexible mounting, flex mount makes sense. Anyways, you get it. So you can just take off this piece right here and you can swap cameras so you can have that on there. And let's say you just want to switch out cameras or put it onto something else. The flex mounting option is really nice. You can also take this plate and actually mount a camera vertically so you can actually shoot for like social or web. And that could actually be a huge benefit to your business rather than having to buy like an L bracket and doing a janky thing. You can just like, boom, slide it from horizontal to vertical. Love that. In the Crane 2S, there's actually an updated algorithm for the stabilization, and I actually noticed it. So I own a Crane 2, and moving from that to this, it really did feel like the stabilization was better. It's very minute. It's in like the nuances where you really see it, where you're going around corners or you're putting in light input. But what I noticed, like right out of the box, it just felt good. I didn't have to dial in the settings. So as a gimbal operator, I love that I can just buy the product and start using it. And the last thing that I'll mention about this is that if you guys want to get to like Russ's level where you have like a second person monitoring and pulling focus, you can do that. So you can mount like zoom motors and focus motors and have like image transmission and someone like watching from a distance. So you could have like a director watching, then you could have someone pulling focus, and then you could just be focused on getting good compositions and shots. So if you do want to get to that like Hollywood level or more like advanced level, the options are available with those accessories. And we're at the end of the video. We all know what time it is. Somebody told me they liked that sound. They liked the weird duck sound better than just like the weird other mount I had. So I'll always use the duck sound one if I can. Hi, and welcome to ASMR News. Today the weather is gonna be light with a side chance of drizzle. Just like a little, like you might go outside and be like, is it raining? Oh, right, Chris told me on ASMR News that there's a light drizzle. And oh, yeah, no, that's a light drizzle. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, you know what to do. It's generally in that area. Go down, and then whatever way's towards the like button, go that way, and then press it. Like, don't just get it all the way there and be like, what was I supposed to do again? Take a left at the description box, find the like button, set up camp, and press the like button. It's really not that hard. Think about it. I had to call my friend. Hey, Russ, I know you're super busy making films and stuff like that, but do you mind coming out to my YouTube video to do a weird comparison where I compare like a $600 gimbal to like your $200,000 setup? That takes a lot of time and work. So all you have to do, buddy, or friend, or best friend, we're best friends now. If you press the like button, then we're best friends. Press the like button. subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for future videos. This has gone on for way too long. I love you. Bye. Oh, you just gave it to me. Yo, that was way too easy. Okay, bye.